Hi, I'm Bet from Bet's Makes, and today we're going to make our own stencil using some card blanks, and I have a template for those cards as well. And this is a larger one, and we're going to play around with some ink pads of different colors and use our own stencil to come up with our own card designs. So this is going to be a lot of fun. All you need is a couple of sheets of cardstock to cut out your card blanks. And then you're going to need some what I call file folder dividers. It's a plastic that you can use, and I do believe I have a sheet of it here. They look like this, and they come in various colors. They're just thin sheets of plastic. So you need a few of these to cut out your stencil, and then your card blanks, and of course some stamp pads with different colors that would help. And then we're ready to go. One last thing before you start making these, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Well, here we are in Cricut Design Space, and we're going to have 3 different files we're going to look at today. One of them is here. It is called card blanks, so we need that one. We also have a cube half stencil. We want that one, and then the next one is called cube half 2, and we want that one as well. So we're just going to insert those images. Now the card sample ones I'm just going to move to the side, and we're going to work with these cube halves. Now they are really black for the cuts. You actually can't see anything. First thing I want to do is go to the line type, and I'm going to change it to a light color. Now you can see the other cuts that are in there. The same with the next one. We want to change that maybe to an orange. Now there is absolutely nothing we need to do with these other 2 pieces other than the fact you want to cut a stencil that will fit one of these card sets. So now there are 2 different cards here that you can work with. The center line on both of these, and I'm just going to pick on the center line here, which is a cut, and shift click, and on the other one they both say cut. Those are the center lines in the cards. I'm coming over here to line type, and we're going to click on score. Perfect. I'm actually going to ungroup this at this point. Now this is one card. We want to group it and attach it so nothing happens to it. Same with this card below. We're going to take both pieces, we are going to group it, and we are going to attach it. Now these are our sample cards that we're going to cut. I actually cut 4 for me to work with because we're going to be playing with some ink pads and our stencil that we're going to cut out. Now let's take this one stencil, and it goes in behind here, so I am going to come up here and click on arrange, and we're going to send it to the front. We want that stencil to fit the same area as the front of the card. So as you can see, it's a lot bigger than what we want. So all we're going to do is take this little handle here, I'm going to click on it, and then we're going to bring it so it is just slightly smaller. That looks about right. Now what's going to happen is these little windows are going to be cut out, and we are going to take this and cut it out into maybe a sheet of vinyl. But the kind of vinyl is a little different. You can go to the dollar store and get these vinyl file dividers for your binders, and we're going to cut it out of that material. Now the same thing for the other one over here. We want to bring it over here. We need to arrange it so it comes to the front. Now we are going to change the size of this one so it more suits this particular card. It's going to be a little smaller. You can actually cut bigger ones as well if you want. Now I am going to unlock this one, and I'm going to move it up because I'm going to elongate this one so we get a different effect. Remember, we can always get back to the original later. That looks like it's going to fit on that card. I am now going to lock it in place. So now we have 2 stencils. Now you can cut them out of the same, so maybe we should make these 2 the same color. I'm going to change this back over here to yellow. So it'll cut out of the same vinyl sheet. I'm going to leave the cards in white. Now you can decide that you want to cut out more than 1 set of card blanks. These can be used for any type of card. So I would suggest maybe cutting 2 larger ones and 2 smaller ones when you're ready. Now what we want to do is save our project, and this is going to be called Stencil and Card. Just give it a name, let it save. Now once we have it saved, we're going to click on Make It. So here's where you can decide to cut and score this one twice. You could cut and score this one twice, and you'll notice that both of these, oh, look what we did. These are cuts and they did not attach. It's a good thing that we see this mistake. So let's cancel. Now it looks like everything got separated here, so I'm going to click on this one, make sure I got all of that selected. I'm going to click on Attach down here on the bottom right. Just want to make sure it cuts properly. Same thing with this one. Do we have the whole thing selected? It looks like. And we're going to click on Attach. Even though it's an SVG file and it comes in this way, you still have to attach it. So I'm glad we caught that. Let's save it once again. Now let's take a look at this third one. There, it's perfect. Now you can cut these out of the different types of vinyl. Now the thing is, when you buy at the dollar store the piece of vinyl or the file folder divider, that clear see-through type vinyl, it's going to be 8.5 by 11. So this actually fits. You'd have to put the piece of vinyl in sideways so it comes to 11 and then down to 8.5. So you have plenty of room to cut it. So the material for this one is going to be different from the first 2. So let's click Continue and select our materials. So for the 2 cards themselves, I'll probably cut twice. I'm going to use a medium cardstock. We'll be using the scoring wheel and then the fine tip blade in order to cut it. When it comes to this bottom one, we are going to have to change our material. So this is where you will change it. When you hit that cut, I'm going to click on the medium cardstock, and then I have picked plastic stencil film for mine, 0.04 millimeters, and that's what's going to cut here. You still only need the fine point blade, but it tells what kind of material we're going to cut through. Okay, so let's go back to the first one. Let's change it from stencil film back to medium cardstock. We are ready to make it, and once we have that all cut, we'll show you how to assemble it. So here we are. We've got all kinds of pieces cut out. I actually cut 2 sizes of cards. So I cut 2 of each so that I can play with those. I played around with the stencil pieces as well. And this is the plastic from the file folder pieces that I was telling you about. And we're going to be able to use these. I actually cut some bigger ones as well so I could actually play around with the pattern. So you can cut all kinds of sizes. So this is how you cut your own stencil. It could be any design, and you can use these file folder inserts in order to cut them. They are plastic, so you can use them over and over again. Also from the dollar store, I found these Forever in Time little stamps. So we're going to use some of these colors. I've got black, pink, a number of colors. I also found some of these little tiny ones as well for little stamps if you want to do a smaller area. Of course, there's a regular stamp pad that you can use. Then I also found this one called Color Box. It's a Color Pop Mini. And let's see what color this one is, if I can get the lid off. This one is a blue, so this might be a lot of fun to play with as well. Just put the lid on for now. Then I've got a little pad so I don't get ink on my top. And then to clean off the stencils when you're finished, I just have these cleansing wipes, and they're for makeup. So all I need to do is pull one out, and then I can clean my materials when I'm finished with them. And of course I have my spatula in order to fold the cards. So the easier part, of course, is to fold the cards. Now this may be experimental for most of us when we go through this, but it's a lot of fun. This is a different way that you can decorate without having to have special stamps. So let's start. Let's see on this one. And I think I'll start off with one of the smaller stencils. Now you want to hold these down so they're not actually going to move in place. Now you could do a couple of things with this. For me, I have these little tiny clothespins, so I actually just use a clothespin to hold it in place so it doesn't slide out. I can either put it on that side, I might just put it on this side so it just stays there. Now I'm going to dab some of these inks on here. I can use the same color for the whole thing, or I can just decide I want different colors. So what I have to do is decide, of course, on white what colors I want to go with. Now this one's a dark blue, this one's a light blue, so that might be kind of fun. So let's start off with one of the larger stamp pads. And all I have to do with this one, and I don't have to push it very far, I can just quickly stamp it. So it goes through the stencil. As you can see, there's many different ways that you can use these, and then of course we'll clean this up a little later. Now I have one set of stencils going in that direction. I actually cut out two, so I can go beside it, or I can flip it around and find a spot that's close to it. Just offset it a little bit. Get my trusty clothespin here. Really want it to move around too much. Now I can put a different set of colors here, and this case let's put a little, I think this looks like copper or red. I'm just going to hold it in place. It's very light red. Put the lid back on and pull this off. And you see I have another type of design here, and then once again I can take the opposite side with this and just use my scraper and come up with another and totally different design. So there's many ways that you can use your stencils in that direction. So this one was cut so that I could do them in this direction. So this is a little example of what we can do with these particular cutouts. Now you could put different sizes with it as well. I'll just move this one out of the way. So I had cut, as you can see, I can still see the tab from the file folder divider. So I can place this in a corner, and then I can decide that I want to have different colors for each one of these. For example, let's do this one on the edge here. Okay, that looks pretty good. These are the large squares. As you can see, that has a totally different effect from what we had before. Now, you could put the opposite ones in there, or you could use a smaller one, such as this one, to go in between, just to give it another effect altogether. Now, I might take this one at the top here. That looks pretty good in place, but I might use a smaller stamp pad. I'm going to use one of these small ones, so let's use a green one. And I'm just going to pick up these top pieces. As you can see, we get a totally different effect as we go through with the smaller ones as well. So those are just a couple of the ideas that you can use to make some really wonderful designs with your stencils. Now you could cut these stencils in a different way so that you can back them back to back. So you could put one like this and turn it over so that they match back to back this way. Oh, I should push it this way. As you can see, they match back to back, so they can come this way or this way. So it's a lot of fun being able to create your own. Now this is an interesting one as well, so you can play with it, add your own design to it, and it's actually a lot of fun to put together. So I hope you had fun with this, and make a lot of them. Just experiment with some of your own stencils. I just wanted to show you how to make the stencils and what you could do with some stamp pads that you get at the dollar store. It's nothing really expensive to play with, but the results can be amazing. Well, I hope you had a lot of fun playing around with the stamps and inks. I added a few more things. I added a border, and then I had some color in the background, and of course my fingers, which I didn't want to get ink on, have ink all over them. And you can clean off your stencils once you've finished by just using something simple like a makeup remover cleansing pad. That works perfectly. These blanks that we used from the file folders, they wash off really easily, so you could probably take them and put them in the sink with some soap and water and clean it off that way. So I hope you had a lot of fun making these, and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and happy crafting.